Welcome to the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast, where we help you take the next step in your fantasy journey. Here's your host, Jake.
Or whatever, but I just think that no matter what, it's an improvement
Oh yeah.
over Arthur Smith and everything that Desmond Ridder or whatever. But I just
Picks will eventually take over because I think that's who they're going to draft. But I think whatever rookie they draft at quarterback, because
this season, clear all this cap off their books, you know,
and make
go
a
for
big
a number
QB
one,
play.
like go for a top 5
This
pick.
season.
Because I think no matter
what,
books, the job is safe for Sean Payton, like you said.
Yeah.
And so
Yep. And I agree with what they're doing. I really do. So it's
you got to clean it up. It's like what the Chargers are doing. I was saying I feel bad for Justin Herbert, but it's the right move. Like you got a new guy in there, and he's a safe job, and you want him there for a couple of years. You got to clean house.
oh yeah, totally just revamp.
So what do you think about Russ in Pittsburgh then?
Oh, we're jumping to this, are we?
Yeah, come on, give me a little teaser.
You know, I was mad that they were gonna have to pay like most of the salary this year, and they are. But with the restructuring that some of the players did on Denver, they don't have to bear as much of the brunt with that anymore. But ultimately, I don't want to root for a guy to fail. I will never do that. If he succeeds, fine, good. But I can't imagine, and Jake said this over text, that Mike Tomlin's going to let our boy Russ cook with whatever he wants to do and say whatever weird crap he's going to say. I personally think Justin Fields is going to take over the job eventually.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think that's like, maybe it is a hot take, but I share that take with you, Adam. I think Russ starts the season, and then I definitely think he's out halfway through. Just like my prediction last year, which you all laughed at me for, that I said he wasn't going to start every game. He's going to be a healthy benching by the end of the season. I think it's going to happen again.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right, boys. All right, let's hear some good news or some bad news. What do you want to hear?
Bad news.
The bad news is I worked for so long to get that intro video, all that stuff working, and I somehow messed up this. Like us talking. I don't know how I fixed it, so I'll have to look at it. But the good news is that I kept our old thing.
Oh, so we're back.
So we're back. Everyone can hear us. Guys, can you confirm if we're live on YouTube, youtube.com/Next Up Fantasy Football Podcast, that you can hear all three of us? It's not as pretty as the other one, but nonetheless,
That's what these tests are for, you know?
that's what... All right, yeah, they can hear us. Okay, we went away. All right, jeez, it is just season 3. Ooh,
Adam and I are having a great time here.
you guys are really
Catch
killing
up,
it.
man.
You're really holding
Catch
the...
up.
We had a management meeting in Portage, Wisconsin, like 3 weeks ago to have a great new season with new, cool, flashy stuff, and this is how we're starting.
Technically, at the end, I can switch back to the outro, and we can just Jimmy rig it.
It's like it never happened.
It's like it never happened. Guys, I apologize for the all that. But we're okay.
Jake, you're our fearless leader. Get us back on track. Come
Just
on.
the worst. All right, let's keep
Right
it going.
on.
Let's keep it going. Here's how this is going to work, guys. I'm going to come at you with one of these signings. You're going to tell me 1 through 5. 5 being fantasy-wise, this is the best thing to have happened to them ever.
Ever?
1, well, I don't know. Like, it's a good signing. 1, you hate it. Okay?
All right. Well, okay.
Does that work? All right.
Yeah,
So
sure.
why don't we start with, because I don't have the graphic up here and I have to go off of my memory now, why don't we start with the most recent one? The most recent, Mike Williams to the Jets. Adam, start us off. 1 through 5, how are we feeling about that?
A 3. He's been hurt his whole career. His upside's still pretty darn good, but dude, the Jets have the most vanilla, cool offense I've ever heard in my life, and I just feel
Just
that
meh.
way.
Yeah, that's a 2 for me. for the same reason. Just like fine, it's fine. It's just I feel like Mike Williams could have gone somewhere else. Could have gotten a long-term deal.
Right.
The Jets, Aaron Rodgers might be running for vice president. You just never know. You never know what's up there in New York.
Nathaniel Hackett is in over his head now.
Yeah, I think they're going to clean house at the end of this year. Like, I think it's going to be a total rebuild and gut, and then I get the 1-year deal. Fantasy wise, like I'd take him in round 9.
Oh, yeah. I feel pretty good about it around 9.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's where I would take him and be like, oh, I'm happy about that. Yeah. But I think he'll go earlier. I think the Jets hype, it's gonna come back. Like come draft time, everyone's gonna be all about it.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah, not me.
Not me.
And no
not me.
This show. No, listen. No.
Yeah, I'm kind of right at around a 3. I think it could be fantasy relevant. He started off pretty well, right? Round 9's good value, somewhere in there. Right? Sure, why not, right? It all depends. That whole offense is who's going to stay healthy. Is Aaron Rodgers going to stay healthy? Is Mike Williams going to stay healthy? They signed Tyron Smith. Is he going to be healthy, right? So, yeah, tough one. We have a lot of these boys, so let's keep it moving, all right?
Pick your favorite, Jake. Pick your favorite.
No, we're just going to go through. You talked about Russ. You talked about Fields. I'm going to be honest, wasn't listening to you guys trying to figure that out. So, but from what I gather, it was good.
No, how do you feel about it, Jake?
Oh, how do I feel about it? I think it's a mess. Just a mess. Just a mess. And if you guys didn't hear it on YouTube because of that problem, make sure you check it out on the podcast side. It'll go up tomorrow. Let's do Kirk Cousins signing with the
Falcons.
The Falcons. Thank you. Wearing number 18. Did you talk about that already?
Kind of, but not really.
All right, go ahead. For me, it's a 4. I think the upside, the weapons are really good there. He's always been a top 10 quarterback. We're in the bottom half, right, in fantasy. He's always thrown for a good amount of yards, good amount of touchdowns. I think overall it's a good landing spot, right? Is it better than Minnesota? That's the question. Because they don't have Justin Jefferson, but they have Pitts, they have London. I think it's better for London more than anything.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, while we were sorting out some of the tech stuff, that's one of the things I really like. And it's not about Kirk Cousins. Like, I'm not like, oh, Kirk Cousins, now his fantasy, like, relevance jumps. I'm just more excited about all those pass catchers in Atlanta.
Yeah, right.
Who were just suffering under Arthur Smith. Like, I'm going to be interested in Kyle Pitts this year. And I've been preaching to everyone to stay away since he entered the league because of what Atlanta was. So that's why I'm excited about it. But so I'd put it in that 4 range too, Jake, as well. But definitely not necessarily that Kirk Cousins will be a top 10 quarterback. I just like what it boosts everyone else in Atlanta.
For all you Shrek fans out there, pick 3. Pick number
3, my lord.
He's just, if he comes off his torn Achilles fine, great. Then I lean more towards a 4. But we don't know. With the injury, he's older now. He's 36, whatever. I just don't know. But I do agree his weapons are pretty solid. Besides Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hockenson in Minnesota, I think it's an upgrade for weapons for him. So for fantasy purposes, if he's healthy, could be a really good year.
Agreed. All right, keep it moving. Here, why don't we do Jerry Jeudy to the Browns? He was traded for help me. What did you get for him? A 6th, 5th, something like that?
I thought it was a 5th or a 6th.
5th or 6th?
I think it was a 4th and a 5th or something.
Well, this is interesting. It'll be interesting because Jamie in the chat is a Browns fan. So, Adam, tell us what you think of it.
Nah.
Stop.
Hey,
Stop.
hey,
You're going to get us a copyright strike.
Bye.
Bye.
I changed the words. We're good. So, hey, bye. Sayonara. I think for the Browns, it's a 2. For the Broncos, it's a 2 or 3. Honestly, Jerry Jeudy has not ever lived up to his hype or potential. And Deshaun Watson is, who knows what Deshaun Watson is. Rolling out with a lot of 3s here to start. But honestly, I don't think they should have extended him right away. And I think it's just, he's never lived up to the hype. So I don't get why people are like, oh, the Broncos lost such a big weapon. No, they didn't.
Yeah, Jamie says it's a waste of $40 million.
Yeah, totally agree.
That's yeah. If you're asking me who I'm drafting first, I'd rather have Mike Williams on the Jets than have Jerry Jeudy.
On the Browns? Yeah. And that, do you know why? It's because of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, you can't support 2 pass catchers. Can't be Amari Cooper and. There's no way. There's no way. He's washed. And just it was a 5th and a 6th round pick.
Okay.
For Jerry Jeudy is who the Browns gave up for him. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The Browns seem to be just like trying to go all in, doubling down on this Deshaun Watson stuff.
Oh, they have to.
I mean, you're right. They have to.
So
it just the Browns. It's all about my feelings about Deshaun Watson, to be honest. That's why I feel this way.
All right. Keenan Allen surprisingly traded to the Chicago Bears. My thought on this is the disrespect of Keenan Allen is ridiculous. For a 4th round pick, that guy, he's been fantastic. Great pickup for the Browns, the Bears. I'm a 3 here because I guess I'll have to think more about it, to be honest. Because, I mean, who's the receiver you would rather have? DJ Moore or Keenan Allen?
DJ Moore.
It's DJ Moore. He'll be drafted first. I think depending on where Allen goes in ADP, I mean, he could present some pretty good value, right? You're going to get a rookie quarterback with a lot of weapons. I'm excited about 3. It's Don said it really well. That's going to be really fun to watch, right? So I'm at a 3. Easily could be at a 4 or 5 later on.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the deal.
Yeah.
I think Allen will be overdrafted.
Yeah.
Because it is a rookie quarterback.
It's going to be super interesting to see.
This year, he's 30 plus years old, like 31. He, has kind of an injury history. So I love it for the team. But I think people are going to be really hyped. And, Bears will take Caleb Williams, and it'll be great to have this extra pass catcher. Like, I think they gave him a lot of weapons. I love what the Bears are doing in free agency. But I think, like, Keenan Allen, people are going to, reach up and try and take him. My guess is his ADP would probably be in, the 5th round or something. And I think that's too high for a rookie quarterback throwing the ball to someone north of 30 who has an injury history. You just don't know what Caleb Williams is yet. And I know you guys are going to say, it could be Drake May. You're wrong. It's going to be Caleb.
No, it'll be Caleb Williams. No,
whoa! Don't put words in our mouth.
I didn't. This is all last season. You guys were telling me this.
I do love Drake May.
I like Drake May better, but I know it's going to be Caleb.
It'll be Caleb.
Again, unknown there, but great for the Bears. Yeah. Ryan Pace, dude, he is a heck of a GM. Might not show in the win columns yet, but they are building something big, I think, there.
Yeah,
they brought in DeAndre Swift. I'm going to jump around.
We'll get there. No, we'll get there. I am your host.
You're the boss. Yeah, don't let me stop you. Yeah.
I am the guy behind the computer breaking everything. I'm going on vacation next week too, so I have no time to fix this. It's just going to be it's just the whole thing.
On vacation, it sounds like you have nothing but time to fix it.
But my computer is at home. Hence the problem.
Anyway, moving on. I thought you were the host. Come
on. Hollywood Brown goes to the Chiefs. Of course he does. I feel like Chiefs fans, hyped, right? And then the rest of the world is going to be like, eh.
Oh, crud.
Oh, crud. If you're listening later,
he just walks away.
He's in it. No, let me guess, Adam. You're at school and you didn't move, so the lights went out. Yeah.
And also, I think that's a sign from the Bronco gods. Not to blaspheme here. That's about how I feel about it. Great. I think that's just another guy that's going to be good in the Chiefs offense, but probably not Tyreek Hill good.
Here, I have our first bucket for the year. Our first season 3 bucket. It's not huge, but I do feel this is going to be correct. Marquise Brown will have a worse year with the Chiefs than Juju Smith-Schuster did in his 1 year with the Chiefs.
Ooh, boy.
I really don't care for the signing at all. And what's fair, the little part of me while making that bucket is the fact that I think he'll get hurt at some point because he always does. But I just don't get it. I'd rather have Rashid Rice. I think he should be picked before Marquise Brown. I assume he will be, right?
Yeah, he should be. Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see what that ADP is, but I don't know. Don says Hollywood Brown is more like Bollywood Brown. He's like the free channel on your Roku remote. I just don't love it. Jordan, what are your thoughts?
I think it's great.
Of course you
Just get a
do.
wide receiver for cheap. Wide receiver for cheap. Like a wide receiver is a position.
No,
I need.
we have been fooled
Sign
by
someone.
that enough. I'm done.
They won the Super Bowl. What are you
Cool.
talking about? You've been fooled by it.
We are talking fantasy football. I don't care that they won the Super Bowl. And we've been fooled by the Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the Kadarius Toney. I don't care. They don't have fantasy-relevant receivers. Rashid Rice did well, and he's the guy I want.
I think you're right. I think they spread it. I think they'll spread it around. They find ways to win. As a football team, I think it's a good signing. In fantasy, I agree. Don't get overhyped.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I'm sure he'll do like one game where he gets 4 receptions for 160 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, of course he
Everyone
would.
Be like, oh, here he comes, and then
Pick him off your waiver wire.
pick him off your waiver. Yeah.
All right,
I think, I think late round stash, but I agree. Yep.
Yeah. Calvin Ridley surprisingly goes to the Titans. That man went and secured the bag. That's what he did. Out of 1 to 5, I'm a 2 again. I'm not hyped about this. I'm not a big Will Levis guy, right? And I mean, this offense is going to look completely different than it did last year, right? I will say Will Levis got a cannon of an arm, so that could be helpful. But I don't know. I just thought him going somewhere else would have been a lot more interesting for his fantasy. I think he will be the first of these guys that we talked about being drafted. He'll be drafted before Brown, Williams, Judy. I think he'll be drafted right around Keenan Allen. And if you're asking me which of the two I'd rather have, I'd lean Ridley, but barely. But I'm not super excited about this one. I think he could have went somewhere else that'd be a lot more fantasy relevant.
I think it comes down to Will Levis a little bit too. I mean, year 2, yeah, he had some spurts last year. He looked like the real deal, but ultimately, we don't know for sure. And again, whole new coaching staff, whole new offensive weapons. Who the heck knows about this? So I'm like a 2 or a 3.
Not so fast, boys. I'm pretty hyped about this.
Of course you do.
I am surprised by the Titans. To me, they were surprise shoppers during free agency. Like I was unexpected that they were like this aggressive. But I think they're bringing in Calvin Ridley. Brian Callahan, their new coach, is coming from Cincinnati, where they had like multiple elite receivers, and they performed well. So you're right; it does hinge a little bit on Will Levis. But if you're buying any Will Levis stock, I think DeAndre Hopkins is just a great spot.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that this is where it ended up. But that makes me like Will Levis a lot more. I still like Calvin Ridley, probably the same I liked him on Jacksonville. Like he'll have a similar season.
In Dynasty, Will Levis is definitely a buy low guy right now. If you can go get him later.
Totally agree. So it's not a 2 for me. It's like a 4.
It's a 4.
I'm hyped about it. Yeah.
Oh, you're wrong. And Jordan didn't put on the graphic, which is just disrespectful. Gabe Davis signed with the Jacks.
I did not put it on. First one on. Gabe Davis.
I'm a 1 until he decides to be consistent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, moving on.
All right, let's hit some running backs. That's what the majority of this is. Let's start with the least exciting one of them all. Austin Eckler went to the Commanders. Ooh.
Yeah, I give it like a 1 or 2.
That's a headache.
What they're gonna do with quarterback? He's getting older. He wasn't as good as last year. He's not as good as he thought he was. He bet on himself this last year. Yada yada yada. It's a 1 or 2 for me.
I mean, he's the number 2 back now.
Yeah.
I think it's Brian Robinson played well last year. Like he'll be competing for touches.
Yeah.
So.
That's a headache waiting to happen. I mean, it is. Who knows who's it kills Brian Robinson, it kills Austin Eckler. They're both going to be being taken right next to each other. I think what we could see is Breece Hall was taken a little higher, but it's like Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook going into last year, right? Where they're both being taken in the single-digit rounds. I think that's what we're going to.
Out so well.
And it was terrible,
It was
right?
perfect.
If you had to pick one, who are you owning?
Robinson.
Am I in a PPR league?
You are.
Still Robinson, probably.
Yeah. I mean, Austin Eckler's third down back. Maybe some all the passing down. So it really just hurts them all.
Did we just skip Deontay Johnson because we don't care? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, we
It's on
did.
the graphic.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. I'm so
We're
sorry.
getting
I
hard
wasn't
time on
scrolled
Gabe
down.
Davis, then you
Guys, I'm
skip
having
right over
computer
Deontay
problems. Deontay Johnson goes to Carolina. Cool.
Yeah, cool. We're moving on.
Well, I don't know. I think that's actually kind of neat. It's good for Bryce Young, and man, Russell Wilson went to the Steelers and probably had like one talk with Deontay Johnson. He
Everyone
was like, "I'm
"Get
out."
me out.
I'm like, I can't do this. I just
So, like,
can't.
Steelers country, let's weld, huh? And
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson, like, okay.
All right, send me to Carolina. I think depending again, it's depending on Bryce Hall, right, or Bryce Young. Is he going to take a step forward? If he does, I think Deontay Johnson could be. He's a good receiver. Dropped passes have always plagued him, but I think we could get wide receiver. You're drafting him at a wide receiver 3, right?
True.
I think he could return that. Like if he's
Playing
being
from behind a lot.
well, that's what I'm saying. If he's going in the 10th round, great value. I think
Yeah,
he could be
10th round,
pushed
yeah.
up pretty high though, going as we get closer. And like Jamie said, I mean, his play style is great. Short passes. I mean, that's exactly what you need for Young right now.
Right.
Just trying to get the little ones out of the way here. Alexander Madison got cut by the Vikings, went to the Raiders. There's a chance this man is the starter. There's a chance that it is Zamir White's job. Who the heck knows? Like,
I just love. I'm remembering Jake saying Alexander Madison's him last season. This is what a fall from grace. Which brings us to another guy a little later, and I can't wait again.
I'm gonna go all in again.
It's a one.
Jake, I haven't
Madison
learned a thing yet.
The Raiders replaced Josh Jacobs with Alexander Madison. That's a one for me. Holy cow!
Yeah, big one.
You're not okay. God, I get it. You're excited, and I'm excited to get into ADPs later on because this could return value.
Yeah.
Just like it did last year, right, Jake?
No, okay. You know what, guys? We're here to help the people, and if the man is going in the 13th round, that's good value. But we'll see. on its surface, you're right. It's not exciting.
It's not exciting. It is not exciting. Double-digit rounds. If you
Yes.
find him, you're like bench, and maybe I cut him.
Don't
if
be
it's not the guy.
desperate and take him early.
Correct. All right, let's get into some of these fun ones. Joe Mixon initially reported that he's going to be cut, and then they were able to find a trade partner. He's going to Houston, then got an extension. So foreseeable, he will be here for at least a few years. Joe Mixon to Houston, love it. That's a 4 for me. 4 or 5. I love it. That offense is young, exciting, right? And what were they missing was I'm not going to say elite, right? Because I don't think that Joe Mixon's going to get me elite. Could he backdoor himself into a top 10 running back? I'm okay with that.
Well, he's been in top. He was like running back 6 last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna book him top 8 running back right now.
Top 8. I think that's great. I think that's certainly possible. Man, the fall of Dameon Pierce, though. Holy cannoli. They don't want him, which is fine. Should be playing all 3 downs, right? And on an offense that is pretty high powered going into last year, which came out of nowhere. I think adding a stable running back, a veteran running back, quietly Devin Singletary was pretty good last year for them. But obviously Joe Mixon is better than Devin Singletary. So having him,
quick shout out to Don, our OG fan here. Thanks for saying you're happy to see me tonight, and then also thanks for the support on my first book of the year.
I will say I am going to pivot quickly because we have a question in the chat. Nathan Hayes, new face. Good to see you here, man. Thanks for coming in. Season 3, premiere episode. It didn't start well, but we're here now. Derrick Henry signs with the Ravens, which is the most... Imagine being a linebacker and having to go up against Lamar and Derrick Henry in an option game. Just terrifying. He asks over or under Henry has 18 touchdowns.
Oh,
18's a very large number.
I'm gonna say under, but
Yes.
I would not be surprised if it's like 13 or 14.
Double digit.
And and reception. So
we were talking a little bit earlier, Jake, Adam and I were, and I was saying that I think Derrick Henry going to a new team over the age of 30, I was like, man, like it's not going to go well. Then he went to Baltimore, and I was like, oh wait,
Hold on.
maybe he could get another couple good years out of him there in Baltimore. I think that's like the perfect landing spot for someone. Not all the attention is on him. It's going to open up a lot for him. I really, really like it.
Yeah, it's a great spot. I'm really excited. He's a 5. That's a 5. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
That's the best spot he could have went to. If he has 18 touchdowns, he's running back 1.
Yes. Yes.
So it's hard.
It's like Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, if you're putting us on the spot, it's hard for us to say literally 1, or that he's going to be running back 1. Could he be though? Yes. And I think going into last year, he was a second-round pick, I believe. Derrick Henry, right? Does that sound right off the top of your head?
ADP, yeah,
I think
probably.
he'll be in the first round. I think it'll actually go up because people are going to be that hyped by it.
We'll say he shouldn't.
And then we'll talk about it.
I'm taking him in the first round, but I do like him in Baltimore.
Yeah. Let's talk the Packers stuff. So you mentioned it. Josh Jacobs goes to Green Bay. That came out of nowhere. I love it. As Packer fans, Jordan and I, big fans of it. So we're 5s, but I think that also could just be our fandom talking.
I said a 5 as well because when we were talking before, the audio was.
Don't speak for me.
I told Jordan that's my favorite signing of the offseason, I think, so far with the potential. I think it's a 4 or 5. But ultimately, Jacobs took a little bit of a step back last year, but that could have just been the Raiders. Who knows with Josh McDaniels and all that crap going on. So,
yeah. Nathan asks, does A.J. Dillon, who surprisingly signed as well with the Packers, re-sign? Do his touches go up with Jones gone? I'd say no. Jacobs will be 3 down back as long as he's healthy. Which then pivots into Aaron Jones doing what every Packer does after they leave the Packers, which is signing with the Vikings. Aaron Jones, I'm a 3. Where are you guys on Aaron Jones signing with the Vikings?
I'm a 4. He's an upgrade from that Madison fella. So
That's true. That's true. Go ahead, Jordan.
I agree. I think fantasy-wise, he will have no competition as long as he stays healthy. He is what we thought Alexander Madison was going to be last year.
Yeah.
We had this thought, like, hey, you're not competing with anyone for touches. It's gonna be great. I think Cam Akers is still there, but I'm not.
He's not. He's been cut.
That. Oh, he was cut.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones, even better. So I think he is the running back in a way that he wasn't in Green Bay when A.J. Dillon would steal touches and stuff like that. I think he will be the main guy. Maybe they'll draft someone, in the mid rounds or something like that. But I like Aaron Jones on the Vikings, like you liked Alexander Madison last year.
Yeah, I don't think he'll stay healthy. I think that's a big part. So on March 20th, 2024, I cannot see them going in without spending a pick.
Backup plan?
He's good for 13 games, right? But there has to be some sort of other plan. And maybe it's still too fresh. I'm just super bitter. I acknowledge it. All right. Tony Pollard goes to the Titans.
Hey, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, man?
I love it.
Of course you do.
I love
you
it.
didn't learn your lesson last year?
No, hold on. I'm not saying it's going to be a top 3 back. I'm not saying that. But when the Cowboys are like, I'm not going to resign, right? And, I was a little nervous because, he struggled for the first 3/4 of the season, kind of came out a little stronger at the end. I'm like, oh no, he's going to end up in Washington, right? Or he's going to end up in, I don't know, just another timeshare, right? And then he signs first thing. He's the back there. I know Tajay Spears is there. He'll probably get some work too. But I think he can finish top 10. I do.
Adam?
Yeah, if I may, I'm gonna use this analogy. It's a story I have from McDonald's last week.
Oh my God.
I went there for breakfast, and I got super excited. I got a sausage and egg biscuit meal. I don't like cheese, but the sausage and egg biscuit meal doesn't come with cheese on the sandwich. And it unfortunately came with cheese on the sandwich. So Tony Pollard's that sandwich. I was super excited for him, and then I was super disappointed when I got him. So he's a 1.
A 1 in fantasy? That's so wrong. You
what did
know
he do
it.
last week? What last year? What did
He
he
had
do?
1,000 yards. He did
cool.
all right.
Ba, ba, ba.
Oh my God, you're just being bitter.
I think that I think this division, I think the AFC South will be the most interesting division this year. Like, I think it's what we thought the AFC West was going to be, like when Russ first showed up to the Broncos, and we were like, ooh, what an exciting division. Like, the fact that the Titans are going all in, and they're bringing people in, signing big contracts for running backs, bringing in Calvin Ridley, like, that is a very interesting division. A healthy Anthony Richardson for the Colts. Like, the Jags kind of always in the mix. Houston is a surprise, and they brought in Joe Mixon. Now that, the Titans are doing all this, I think it's going to be fun. I think they're going to beat each other up. It's going to be like the the Steelers and the Ravens just over and over and over again. And we laughed at this division last year.
Yeah.
Like, we did our division breakdown, and we literally laughed at it. And we were like, can you imagine, like, what happens in this division? And now I'm excited for it. So how quickly things change.
How quickly things change. So what number are you, by the way, on that?
On the Tony Pollard?
Yeah.
3.
Oh, sure, why not? Let's go all the way over. All right, we got 2 more. DeAndre Swift goes to the Bears. It was the first signing of free agency. Fantasy-wise, I'm a 3.5. That's how I feel about that. Sure. I mean, he had a pretty good year last year, right? Will he rep... Oh, Adam's hand slightly goes up holding the 4. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, just a 4 for me. I think it's a really good signing for the Bears. I think he's going to get a lot more touches, and he doesn't have to worry about the tush push taking away his touchdowns.
That's 100% true. That's a big part. I mean, he's just got to stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great season last year. I like it. I like the signing. Give me a 4.
All right, we're at 4.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk last thing here. We're going to wrap up, and I'll hopefully here fix some of my stuff here. Saquon Barkley signs with the Eagles.
Betrayal.
Traitor. Did you guys see Tiki Barber's take on that?
Yeah, he's like, you're dead to me. And then Saquon's like, well, hold up. He's like, they didn't offer me much money.
And he's like, you didn't like me, Tiki, since I was a New York Giant anyway. So.
Tiki Barber. What a guy. I had forgotten about him. Why don't you guys go first? How hyped are you for Saquon?
4 or 5, depending on the tush push again, and Jalen Hurts' running ability. So if Saquon can stay healthy, I think his potential's 5. I'm leaning more 4, maybe 3.5, just because who knows what they're going to game plan with Jalen Hurts too.
Jordan?
I will not draft him at his ADP.
Oh,
I don't
not
know what
a
it's gonna
chance.
Be. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but
it's too high already.
It's too high for me.
I'm with you.
It's
though.
fun. Like, I'd like to have. Like, it would be great to have him. I think the fit. It's more excited. I'm more excited about Saquon in Philadelphia than I was with anything they were doing in New York. But that whatever the ADP is, first round, second round, I don't like it.
You want a weak bucket?
No, I want a full bucket.
Well, never mind.
Just hold on to it then. There's still time. For me, I'm like a 3. He's so good. He's going to be on a better offense, but it's so hard to get excited about something when you know that anytime they get right up to the end zone, he's not getting the ball. Like, that stinks. Like,
do you think the tush push is less successful without Jason Kelce?
Oh, that's a good question.
They start handing it off more?
That's a good question.
Something to think about.
That is a good question.
But again, I'm not risking my first or second round pick.
That's
on that
true.
Hunch.
That's very true. All right, guys. There we have it. Some free agency signings. We will be back next week. We appreciate you guys hanging around. It's season 3, so that's good stuff. We appreciate you guys being part of this all. So, sorry.
We got some great new stuff.
Yeah, we got great stuff. Intros video.
We're...
If you didn't see that, go back and watch it on YouTube. And next week we'll have it all working a lot better. Like, I apologize for all that. So, boys, unless you have anything else you want to say?
Go
Happy
Broncos. Go Tigers. Go Twins. Go Irish, baby. Happy to be back.
All right. Take care. Be good.
Thanks for listening to the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. Follow and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube at the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast.